You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
As people, it seems as if we don't even learn it at all.
Plenty finger pointing don't happen after the elections, especially after this dialogue back.
It meets the needs of the people, or the challenge and the way the people then look forward to for a solution.
Where did the billionaires come into the country? Instead of them paying 0%, they will pay 5% on the value.
Because the oil-based subs are going to be on a true tax. And a true tax that they use for run the states.
But what is inside these budgets, we see there is going to be room for macroeconomic stability.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the program One on One. We come to you live from Liberty Online TV, as we broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube, and also we on the website on www.libertyonlinetv.com. Now, so I welcome you to this edition of the program, and we will bring this edition to you, Namibel Kaba. I hope so far on our get on our holidays then as peaceful as it will be. Well, today at the studio, we can talk about the conversation where we start na the breakfast show this morning, where the theme na being the legislature, where na parliament outside and they make the laws then, and we've been take a special focus on the over 100 people then we receive letter from the clerk of parliament where show say they don't redundant them. Means they don't pull them and work. And this morning we've been get the conversation also with studio guests them being discussed about this. But I know say one on one day for let we look deep into the topic then day. And a pleasure again for get to the studio this evening. Abdul Fatoma, when are the chief executive for Campaign for Human Rights Development International, Chadi. Good evening and welcome to One on One.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
Alright, I don't tell reviewers and say today we can talk about the decision where we see the clerk of parliament, Honorable Umar Parantarawali, been take Usai. Plenty people receive letter from when I sign where they indicate say parliament or redundant them. But quickly before we can look into that decision day and how this they affects when it comes the rule of law, how it affects the rule of law, and also how it go add to the unemployment rates currently in the country. We can't talk about that. But let me just go back to Chadi for people who on them. Now the first time this when they join for Yeri but Chadi na the program. Unana Campaign for Human Rights Development International. What exactly Chadi don't they do?
We're a social policy advocacy organization. They advocate on right-based issues and social policy issues. Right-based issues like workers' rights or other human rights, good governance, and we promote respect for the rule of law.
All right. So how will I only carry on with that work, especially when you make mention of people and human rights, because now something like that they can't talk about at the studio this night?
Well, definitely we can receive complaints from the public about human rights violations or abuse, and we collect evidences on the complaint and we engage the alleged perpetrators. And also we seek for redress for the victims, and also where it calls we follow, we go court. We don't take their matters and they to court. Either it be domestic violence cases, or either it be wrongful dismissal, or termination, or adoption. adopting people illegally, so we can pick up the matters, and when we think that the security sector, they act above them powers, we can also hold them accountable. And if we see say Parliament itself, they act above a mandate, we can also hold Parliament to account. And if we say the executive arm or the judiciary also do that, or if we get evidences of alleged corruption, we also will bring that to the public and challenge either the Anti-Corruption Commission, either the Parliament, either the judiciary. So we do work through public advocacy, public diplomacy, and through press release, through policy brief, or strategic litigations.
So in terms of employee and employer relationship, where employer then ready for terminate people then contract them. For example, this redundancy we see Parliament don't do through the clerk of Parliament. How Chad can come in then kind issues in the?
We can only come in if the employees we then get affected by that decision approach Chadi office, and Chadi asks them for some information, because we want to see if there is an existing contract between you and your employer. And we get materials that we'll go ask for, maybe make you legally binding or lawful for work for that individual or institution. We need evidences, you acceptance letter, you offer, PIN code, if you get PIN code, you NACIT contribution, evidence of your NACIT contribution. So when we look at that, we establish indeed there was a contract. Then we ask for what we call the staff handbook. If it is staff handbook there, and we see say the office go through the procedures of the staff handbook, or if they violate their own staff handbook, then it's a concern. Then we also look into the labor laws of Sierra Leone. So if we look, if the institution go through the procedures the way the labor law prescribe, how for terminate, how for dismiss, how for redundant people. So we'll go through that thing, and if we see say there's a bridging procedure, then we can now classify the thing as unlawful dismissal or unlawful termination, of the service. Then we engage the party for reinstate the individual and remind them about the laws the way that they bridge with both their own internal policy and the labor laws of the country. So when once there's some serious into that, don't reinstate workers back based on the intervention, and some say no, we cannot reinstate. But they're able for pay. We do some for bankruptcy alone. Some people then say they don't begin to get back after.
Yeah, because that's about us say if any institution don't ever take then kind of decision, sometimes dismiss or redundant person, then on intervene is successful. Yeah,
bankruptcy alone, statistics Leone, Fire Force, NACRA, several other institutions. Even private security institutions and maritime institutions, not only the maritime office, but or businesses the way they work within maritime, would intervene on issues and where they go to people then I see, and then go on the dismissal level. So we ask for benefit, we mediate within them. So the people then say they don't want for work again for the company. The company say, well, if you then be accepted, so we intervention them for we employ them back. But the people then say they don't want for work. They say they want them payment. So we work with the body and draw up a payment plan. And they're able to pay them within the period of time where they agreed on. So we're able to settle, close to 1,005 disputes within 6 years.
So now we can look at this latest issue where don't like sort of be talk of the town for Parliament, the Parliamentary Service Commission through the Clerk of Parliament give letter to about 100 Sierra Leoneans then we be done the work in Parliament. Like the one where they see before me here, so we dated the 18th of December 2023. It's a letter of redundancy. The clerk writes say a right for inform the person say they don't select them for redundancy effective the dates when are 1st January 2024. Firstly, as Chadi, you just not explain to reviewers them waiting I don't do for help people we can get issues with the institutions and also then they work under on a human rights aspects. Waiting I think for a decision from the Clerk of Parliament, we say get instructions from the Parliamentary Service Commission for redundant then people here. What's to make up of this decision?
Basically, reading the words, listening to the words the way they read. In the first place, on procedural and a very much disheartening for let you see Parliament where they make laws like labor laws when they pass their laws and they against the respect of their laws then. They redundant somebody again notice within 30 days. You just select people and you give them an ample time, either 3 months, 6 months notice, and tell them say this company, the redundant X, Y, and Z, now una then don't select or they redundant everybody, and you get for sure the reason why you the redundant. Either you say if you're an income generating business, say we know the production level not they meet with demands, so we not get money again. So the one that within our production with the redundant 50% on the food processing side or the bag inside or the package inside. So we give the reason and the people themselves need for know the justification why they have been selected, because let them not feel say now direct or indirect discrimination selection you don't do. So when once they know say the selection process is very fair and it's transparent, then you now assigned counselors to them, like the one that will not reach the age of retirement yet. The one that we don't reach age of retirement, you now get somebody where they tell them what retirement look like, and when you retire, how life get for be. But even if not to retire because now redundancy time. So then think about the one that we don't reach the age of retirement. For 6 months was the age of retirement, so they meet that kind of opportunity. Then they know. So for let you just give a 30 days notice period to people. First, not to fall within a best practice, and respect the process. We get laws in this country. We show how you for redundant people, not how you feel by your emotions.
So talking about law, the letter further states say this action is in line with section 53, 1 and 2 of the Parliament Act of 2023, which reads 1. It says the Commission may create, abolish, or reclassify offices in the parliamentary service. 2. Where an office is abolished or reclassified, the Commission may, where appropriate, redeploy the holder of the office or discontinue the service of the holder of the office, and shall pay the officer such entitlements as appropriate in relation to the office. This said provision is also intended with Chapter 9.12 of the Parliamentary Service Human Resources Manual, according to written the clerk writes. Now that side day, another power day is a use for redundant them but 100 salon people here.
The unfortunate thing is that the clerk failed for cite the redundancy provision law in this country, where give directives to institutions or individual where they hire people how you they redundant. The provision where the clerk reads or it provide inside that letter, it not talk anything about redundant. It talk about the power given to the commission for create or abolish offices. So now the letter say we don't select you for be redundant. They not tell them people there say the offices the owner hold, we don't abolish all the offices. If you're not cleaners them, have they abolished all cleaners? And now a result for go to private contractors. That Parliament itself cannot hire their own cleaner, so they will bring third party by through bidding or contract, where they will give them people then the services. So meaning they don't need again contractor. So the money when they pay the contractor, now the contractor will pay nurses for them, cleaners and we go car work. Now the contractor will pay medical, meaning the other pocket liabilities on Parliament will be offload. And Parliament will say because we want for save more money, the government say they don't get money. So, but we not get any directive yet, executive directive from the office of the president. We say it urge other institutions and based on with financial challenge in the country for let them cut down on number of staff there. Instead, we see more appointment coming from State House. We see more offices created by State House. So, in which directive we the Parliament go to that length? And shamefully, Parliament cannot make reference to the labor laws of this country. Parliament can only give an administrative act of the Parliamentary Commission and also a staff handbook. I'm happy that the staff handbook they make mention, but the disgraceful thing, the staff handbook provision where they make, I don't know if you get any direct link to the processes and procedures of redundancy.
So, Honorable Parantarawali, we na the Clerk of Parliament, will also double as the secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission when I sign this letter, and this reason where it states as per waiting or outside the power come out for create or pull people in that position the way they don't redundant. So that particular reason the way it states under the Parliamentary Act where we talk about and the staff handbook where it talk about and the letter, is it not reasonable or justifiable enough reason for redundant them people here?
And no, at all not from any basis. Not from any basis, because it not give any authority or direction as to how he as a clerk or the secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission for actually use in power for redundant. The power where that provision where the act give for create and dismantle. So now I asked a question earlier. Is it these people then are one department then come on, so they don't disband all the departments? If it is true, then not a redundant, because the office they fold. You know, that's how they fold. So let people then go about and get a thing that's what they think say. Or if you link onto redundant, if you also work within the redundancy procedure. So, but if na general selection, it take people then from different, you know, department and tell them say then they go there and make that provision. So if you select somebody who been there, that the cleaning department, the decoration department, the security department, the sergeant at arms, so does that mean that say their offices they don't shut down based on that provision where you read? Because you say for create or disband or dismantle, whatever, abolish or what. So if you they're still there in action, so why you target these people specifically?
Well, that's a question the way Liberty Online TV said, but they hope say we go get somebody for respond to. But unfortunately, we've been there for reach the Public Relations Department of Parliament for we go get response. But up till now, they say they're not ready yet for response to the media on this issue. If you just tune in, you they watch Liberty One on One, the program One on One now you they watch, and they come to you from Liberty Online TV. Continue for drop your comments at the comment section. Continue for like and share Liberty Online TV as you and support for ensure so we continue for broadcast. Today we will talk about the decision where we see the Clerk of Parliament sign over 90 letters them of redundancy where they give to people them where be the work na Parliament where according to Ram it been quote some parts them na the parliamentary laws them what they use for redundant same people here. And at the studio with we get the chief executive for Chadi with a campaign for human rights development international and name na Abdul Fatoma with the talk about this issue where we see the clerk sign the letter here and give them people here. So moving a bit from the official letter, when a one panel letter then they be don't read earlier in the program. We don't hear if words them again from Parliament for say oh Parliament's be done overcrowded, people been there where sometimes they take pay but not on the work. So all of the issues are not surmount for letting redundant them people here generally.
I don't understand the language that you employ people, you don't know the quantity of staff where you need for the required work, or if you be a project employment, tell the people then say not a temporary contract, not a permanent job. So the moment the lifespan of the project end, if not a 4-month project, so when that project the lifespan end, then automatically you contract with Parliament don't end. But then if a Parliament go ahead for employ people them for full-time and permanent job, then in a week later Parliament tell you say overcrowded, meaning there is a high level of incompetency within Parliament and a worried sign, a deteriorating concern to the people of this country, because Parliament are a very serious and sober institution, supposedly not so for be. But then if we get people who want to be so much be irresponsible and reckless about how they do things with regards to Parliament and to the people of this country, now one of the highest disrespect to the people of this country, we entrust people then for run the affairs of state of this country into their hands. You as a businesswoman, if you need cook, you need cleaner, you need driver, you need security. So this key component. But if you say, okay, I want substitute for each one of these people there, instead of you need 4, you need 8. You don't need for cry overcrowding, because if you one man sick, the other one the backup they come. But then if you just think say I only need 4 for now, so therefore if you begin grumble say them boku, so it's all back to you for go to the drawing board and see how you duplicate the role of, if you sack 2, then you remain the 2, how they cook go to play for you as a security and driver, or how the driver and the driver go turn security and driver as well, the cook become the cleaner, and this will be PA to you as well. So if you want that, you can match up with that and then reduce. But in this case, now you employ people then, you put out public notice for the people then apply for vacancy, and the people that apply for their jobs and you conduct employment procedure by interviewing these people then you interview them, then you issue out job offer to them, then you ask them for accept, then they send in the acceptance letter, and you don't enroll them, you don't do orientation, then you don't deploy them, they don't pass probation period, then all of a sudden you now can realize over bloated. How did you get to that conclusion? These are the critical questions and sincere answer where the people of this country deserve for no.
So the most interesting part from where this discussion begin, now where people don't begin, they question the issue of respect na parliament, because we don't see clip Osai, the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Cheno Abbas Bundu, when they talk clearly and openly say on this matter, say as Parliament they not reach to a decision for redundant or dismiss anybody. Then Enote, we see this action come from the clerk when I sign and in the secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission. There is a whole parliament where the speaker na the number one man na the house. Waiting the speaker can don't say most times, even when the campaign ruling, na in the ruling at the house, then they move. Whether somebody they for or against, na can announce the ruling then they. But on this issue, the speaker be don't talk say Parliament not decide yet whether or not they would sack anybody. But we see the clerk don't write letter and don't redundant them people here. What in this mean for a House of Parliament? They get two different positions on one issue.
It shows a lot of conflict in leadership, meaning there is heavy disagreement within the administrative head and the ceremonial head of Parliament. The Speaker will then they preside over parliamentary proceedings, and the clerk will then they run the administrative side of Parliament. And if the leadership of Parliament they in a crisis and then a total disagreement at a point where a uniform agreement or there, it sends a worried signal that Parliament currently they're in a crisis. That Parliament need for put the leadership crisis into a more proper footing and work into the best interests of the people of this country. Because if the Speaker talks the Parliament not reach agreement publicly, and then not come back publicly and say we now don't reach an agreement, so we don't give the go-ahead to the administration of Parliament for take the necessary actions, and then we see letters coming out, then we will say it's a parliamentary decision because it is a unanimous agreement. Mind you, the leadership of Parliament make up also of the opposition, and then get the leader of the opposition, and they sit on all of the important committees, and they get all the members of the opposition where they also sit on other committees. And so basically we got paramount chiefs them, you know, as an independent eyes, then where they also sit on other committees. So it's an agreement which with committee we actually give the power that the clerk they refer to again instruction.
Say the Parliamentary Service Commission.
Where this Parliamentary Service Commission, the whole thing is that Parliament needs for put the leadership house in order and work in the best interest of the people of this country.
So if we talk about public interest, like you just make mention, I just come from that QD. From where this letter talk begin come out, now say the clerk na Parliament don't give them people then redundant letter. One thing where people begin discuss get for do with politics. Say, oh, the one that we don't redundant, so now people maybe don't work with the other side of the aisle. Now people them don't suspect say been there to party A political person at Parliament. Now people we get connection let we drag them to the opposition party them. If not then kind politics here don't play in a Parliament, waiting it mean for the rule of law if it happens say na party politics play for let them get the selected few way then redundant.
It will be so much shameful that as a country people who lost job based on their political party affiliations or based on their political beliefs. And if then a civil servant, they will be treated as a civil servant, and if we work within the civil servant code and ethics. And if they're not involved in any frontline politics. They just be chosen because they are APC people or they serve APC leaders in the parliament. So with that, they should leave their job. I don't think it's good for national cohesion. I don't think it's good for the peace building process. I don't think it's good for human rights, not good for the rule of law, because everything about parliament should be democratic and should be fair and should be in a professional and more transparent manner. But when it go against the elements then definitely it undermine the rule of law, they undermine democracy, they undermine, our professionalism.
So one thing we are not been reading at the letter, how it end, the clerk make and clearly say, then go pay them the December salary and also then go give them the redundancy benefits. But even as that, as we wrap up this edition of One on One, whose advice you the left to the one them we don't become victim of this redundancy?
We currently work with one soldier man back in 2013, following time, then we called themselves for retire or forcefully, but Amy refused to take him pay.
Okay.
And still we advise Allah not taking pay. We still work on the case. So if you think, say, you want to proceed this matter further, even though you had up, not take the money. Because the moment you don't accept the money, you don't accept waiting don't go on. So you not accept the money and then take a due process. We do that with some staff then at Bank of Salon. And now today, as they speak, today one meet me and tell me, say, well, they don't give me that money, they even don't call me for reconcile and waiting them. So they be worried for dismiss them, even bribe police. We able to forfeit that case there. The bank be able to pay back to anti-corruption the 45 million they use for bribe police. So and then we work with some of the staff them, say let them not take their money them, and some don't begin take some cases and still in the court, the tribunal for decide on them. So basically it might be take some time, but justice go come one day. So if people then they listen me will get affected and they want, let them make sure so they go to the ombudsman or the labor commission and report this matter. If they don't take any action, we might come to a civil society organization where get experience in dealing with labor law or labor lawyers, employment lawyers, employment law specialists, for let them actually guide you as to what the next will do. Then you just sit down, you do something where maybe tomorrow you regret. But we will urge them for let them remain calm and let them remain peaceful. And let them not take the law into their own hands. Let them use the due process of the law for bring, this kind of disadvantage thing to the public.
All right, thank you, Isidore. It's Liberty Online TV this net.
You're welcome.
Well, that's na Abdul Fatoma, the chief executive for Chadi. And now with that message, the way it gets, so they want them will be victim of the redundancy from parliaments. We will bring the end for this edition of One on One. Plenty thank you to you will watch, you will share, and you will don't follow Liberty Online TV. We ask that you continue for doing the favor for like, share, and follow Liberty Online TV and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until we meet again, Mina Mebel Kabadi, so get yourself a wonderful night and plenty thank you to my production team. Good night.
As people, it seems as if we not even learn it at all.
Plenty finger pointing don't happen after the elections, especially after this dialogue back.
It meets the needs of the people, or not the challenge and the way the people then look forward to for a solution.
Where did the invest come into the country? Instead of them paying 0%, they will pay 5% on the value.
Because the only place South Sudan will be on a true tax. And a true tax that they use for run the states.
But what is inside these budgets, we see there is going to be room for macro economic stability.